So students, now we are going to discuss the next question. What are sign conventions for Q and W? We have derived the derivation for work done. In that we are getting the W. W means work done. What is the sign convention for W? And what is the convention sign convention for Q? Q means amount of heat absorbed. So there are four conventions. Two for Q's, positive Q and negative Q, and positive W and negative W. So first of all we get positive Q. When heat is absorbed by the system from the surrounding, then Q will be positive. Means heat is absorbed, then Q will be positive. So heat is absorbed from the surrounding to the system. After that Q is negative, means heat is released from the system to the surrounding. From system to the surrounding heat is released, and in that case Q is negative. Means there are positive values as well as negative value. Positive Q means heat is absorbed from the system to the system by the system from the surrounding, and Q is negative means heat is released from the system to the surrounding. After that W is positive and W is negative. So W is positive means work is done on the system by the surrounding, and that is compression. We have derived a derivation in that W is negative because there is a compression of the gas. But opposite to this, W is positive means work is done on the system by the surrounding. And when W is negative, work is done by the system on the surrounding, and that is the expansion. So we have derived a derivation that piston is present at lower position. Gas is n number of moles of gas is allowed to expand. So piston move in upward direction, that is expansion. And whenever there is expansion, work is done by the system on the surrounding, and W is negative. Opposite to this, when W is positive, work is done on the system by the surrounding, and that is called as the compression. So साइन कन्वेंशन जो पार्ट है ये दो मार्क के लिए पूछा जाता है, Q और W का. Q पॉजिटिव रहेगा, Q नेगेटिव रहेगा. W पॉजिटिव रहेगा, W नेगेटिव रहेगा. Q means heat is absorbed. If Q is positive, heat is absorbed by the system on from the surrounding. अगर Q पॉजिटिव रहता है इसका मतलब क्या है? पॉजिटिव Q means heat absorb होगी. कहाँ पे? सिस्टम में. सिस्टम में अगर हीट एब्सॉर्ब हो रही है तो कहाँ से होंगी? सराउंडिंग से. Q is positive, heat is absorbed by the system from the surrounding. Q is negative means heat is released from the system to the surrounding. Q अगर नेगेटिव रहता है तो हीट रिलीज होती है सिस्टम से कहाँ पे? सराउंडिंग. उसके बाद W पॉजिटिव और W नेगेटिव. हम लोगों ने डेरिवेशन देखा W का, एक्सपांशन का. जो कंप्रेशन जो सिलेंडर रहता है वहाँ पे पिस्टन रहता है, वो n नंबर ऑफ मोल गैस इंक्लूड रहते, वो एक्सपांड होते तो पिस्टन अपवर्ड जाता है. इसका मतलब क्या हो गया? वहां पे वर्क डन नेगेटिव आता है. सो वर्क इज डन बाय द सिस्टम ऑन द सराउंडिंग. W इज नेगेटिव, W इज नेगेटिव, वर्क इज डन बाय द सिस्टम ऑन द सराउंडिंग. सो दैट इज कंप्रेशन, दैट इज एक्सपांशन. उसके बाद W इज पॉजिटिव, वर्क इज डन ऑन द सिस्टम बाय द सराउंडिंग, दैट इज कंप्रेशन. जब W पॉजिटिव रहता है तो सिस्टम पे वर्क होता है, कहां से? सराउंडिंग से, और वो क्या रहता है? कंप्रेशन. और जब W नेगेटिव रहता है सिस्टम सराउंडिंग पे वर्क करता है, और उसको क्या बोलते हैं? एक्सपांशन. सो देयर आर फोर: पॉजिटिव W, नेगेटिव W, पॉजिटिव Q, नेगेटिव Q. पॉजिटिव Q means heat is absorbed from the system to the surrounding. Second, Q is negative, heat is released from the system to the surrounding. W is positive means the work is done on the system by the surrounding, that is the compression. W is negative means work is done by the system on the surrounding. So then that is the expansion. उसके बाद है first law of thermodynamics. So question is that state the first law of thermodynamics. It is also for to ask for 2 marks. Likewise sign convention for W and Q for 2 marks. So state the first law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics can be explained by considering 3 concepts. Number 1, the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be converted from one form to another form. So that is the first statement of first law of thermodynamics. Second statement is that the energy of universe remains constant, As we are saying that in universe, one form of energy converted into another form converted to another form, next form converted into another form. Means total energy of universe remain constant. Suppose in universe there is a 1 lakh crore kilowatt energy is present. So what happens? Electrical energy converted to mechanical energy, mechanical converted into work energy converted into potential energy converted into kinetic energy converted into electric energy converted into heat energy. एनर्जी कन्वर्ट हो रही है एक फॉर्म से दूसरे फॉर्म. तो यूनिवर्स की एनर्जी जो है वो कांस्टेंट रहेंगी, सिर्फ एक फॉर्म की कम होगी तो दूसरे की बढ़ेगी. So that is the second, that is energy of universe remain constant. And number 3, the total internal energy of an isolated system remain constant. Isolated system means open system, closed system. Isolated system we have seen. Isolated system means the system there is no exchange of heat as well as energy with the surrounding. Means the hot tea placed in a thermos flask. So what? The total internal energy of an isolated system remain constant. In isolated system, no exchange of matter, no exchange of energy. That's why in isolated system, total internal energy remains same. Internal energy we will see later on. Internal energy means it is a kind of energy associated with matter. That is called as the internal energy. It is indicated by symbol U. So these are the 3 statements. From these 3 statements we come to the conclusion that according to this law, the energy of system and surrounding remain constant when system changes from an initial state to final state. So according to this law, the total energy of system and surrounding always remain constant. It's when it starts, system starts from one initial state to final state. First law of thermodynamics से 3 सेंटेंस हैं. पहला सेंटेंस, the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed but it can be converted into one form to another form. इसका मतलब क्या है? हम एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस भी नहीं कर सकते और उसको नष्ट भी नहीं कर सकते. एक फॉर्म की एनर्जी दूसरे फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट कर सकते हैं. That is the point. You are saying that suppose water is running water is stored in the dam, so it is having height, that is potential energy. The energy because of its position, because of height, its potential energy. It is allowed to flow and it is allowed to fall on the blades of turbines. The blades of turbines rotate and it is attached to dynamo, electricity is generated. Means that potential energy converted into movement means kinetic energy, and kinetic energy converted into electrical energy. Now electrical energy is converted into heat energy. In ironing there is a heat. Or it is converted into mechanical energy, that is rotating the blades of fan. Or it is converted to electrical energy, light energy. At night we are glowing the bulb. So that is the conversion of energy. एनर्जी कभी तैयार नहीं हो सकती और उसको नष्ट भी नहीं किया जा सकता. एक फॉर्म से उसको दूसरे फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट किया जा सकता है. दैट इज द फर्स्ट. सेकंड स्टेटमेंट क्या है? द एनर्जी ऑफ यूनिवर्स रिमेन कांस्टेंट. हमने अभी कहा टोटल यूनिवर्स है, उसमें सिर्फ एनर्जी का इंटर कन्वर्शन हो रहा है, एक फॉर्म से दूसरे फॉर्म से तीसरे फॉर्म. इसका मतलब यूनिवर्स की जो टोटल एनर्जी है वो कांस्टेंट ही रहेगी. सपोज 1 लाख करोड़ किलो कैलोरी एनर्जी अपने यूनिवर्स में है, तो काइनेटिक का पोटेंशियल में हो गया, पोटेंशियल का काइनेटिक में हो गया, काइनेटिक का फिर इलेक्ट्रिकल में हो गया, इलेक्ट्रिकल का फिर लाइट में हो गया, साउंड में हो गया. सो सिर्फ इंटर कन्वर्शन हो रहा है, एनर्जी तैयार भी नहीं हो रही और नष्ट भी नहीं हो रही. सो इसीलिए टोटल यूनिवर्स की एनर्जी क्या रहेगी? कांस्टेंट. और उसके बाद है द टोटल इंटरनल एनर्जी ऑफ एन आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम रिमेन कांस्टेंट. हमने पहले ही देखा है सिस्टम्स, सराउंडिंग और यूनिवर्स. उसके बाद देखा टाइप्स ऑफ सिस्टम, ओपन सिस्टम देखी, क्लोज सिस्टम और आइसोलेटेड. आइसोलेटेड मींस क्या है? द सिस्टम व्हिच कैन नॉट एक्सचेंज मैटर एज वेल एज एनर्जी. जहां पे मैटर और एनर्जी दोनों का एक्सचेंज नहीं होता, जैसे हॉट टी प्लेस इन अ थर्मोस फ्लास्क, वहां से मैटर भी बाहर नहीं आता और एनर्जी भी बाहर नहीं आती. तो इसी का पॉइंट नंबर 3 है टोटल इंटरनल एनर्जी ऑफ आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम रिमेन कांस्टेंट. आइसोलेटेड सिस्टम की एनर्जी टोटल जो रहती है वो कह रहती है कांस्टेंट. और इन तीनों स्टेटमेंट का एक फाइनल स्टेटमेंट है अकॉर्डिंग टू दिस लॉ एनर्जी of a system and surrounding remain constant when system travels from one initial state to final state. जब सिस्टम एक इनिशियल स्टेट से फाइनल स्टेट में जाती है तो टोटल जो एनर्जी है सिस्टम और सराउंडिंग की क्या रहती है, कांस्टेंट. सो दैट इज द डिफरेंट फॉर्म्स of first law of thermodynamics. So now we'll stop here. We'll continue on next video.